Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion, but the reality is she's just not stable.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad. And you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million in China.
Every time she speaks, she gets less likable. There's some clip of her on the internet in her Snow White outfit saying, "Every hour I am in the outfit of Snow White wearing the dress. All 18 hours, I deserve to be paid for every single one." Oh, really? Are you having trouble paying your bills, Rachel? Did Steven Spielberg not pay you for your role in West Side Story? Did Disney fail to give you a healthy paycheck for, Cry me a river? She's just exactly everything that we can't stand.
Just staying there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
Alex, what has been the reaction to Disney's latest expensive own goal?
Well, the reaction has been absolutely horrible. It is the worst box office from a Disney live action remake that they've ever done. And
I mean, they're projected to lose between $200 and $400 million on this.
The thing that really shocks me about this story, Disney and all these media companies, they invest hundreds of millions of dollars into these projects, right? Have they ever thought about maybe a little bit of vulnerability study, opposition research, that sort of thing before you go and hire some Zoom?
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it. All right. Congrats, Rachel.
Oh my God.
Nobody wants
a movie about true love. What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? The outrage.
Rachel Zegler has now gone off the grid. Mere days after rumors erupted that Disney might demand she return part of her paycheck for the Snow White fiasco, the once rising Hollywood darling has suddenly vanished not just from the spotlight, but apparently from the country. The word on the street says Zegler hopped on a flight out of the US and quietly touched down in Dubai, leaving everyone to wonder if she's simply taking a breather or ducking something much bigger. Quick pause, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. You know the drill. Now back to the drama. Industry insiders find the timing highly suspicious. The abrupt disappearance follows a tidal wave of online outrage, internal Disney drama, and swirling legal threats. According to whispers, Disney's top brass was already brainstorming behind closed doors, everything from invoking morality clauses to withholding future payments, when Zegler pulled her disappearing act. No press conferences, no damage control, no clarifying statements. Just silence, making fans and critics alike ask, is this a calculated break or a full-blown exit strategy? What's amping up the chatter is that this vanishing act came right on the heels of an alleged emergency session at Disney HQ topic on the table. Whether Zegler's pre-release gaffes, outspoken interviews, eyebrow-raising posts, and polarizing takes had crossed legal lines. If rumors are to be believed, Disney may be exploring ways to hold her responsible for the film's stunningly poor performance. And the speculation doesn't stop there. While her PR team insists she's off recharging, internet detectives are combing through every detail: wiped Instagram entries, deleted comments on X, flight manifests, and an oddly empty calendar. More and more people are convinced this isn't a regular vacation but a well-orchestrated escape from potential negotiations, lawyers, or even lawsuits. Meanwhile, inside Disney, the mood is said to be downright chaotic. Insiders claim the studio heads were blindsided by Snow White's dreadful box office turnout. With an overall price tag exceeding $250 million, this release could be one of Disney's ugliest financial hits in years. One of the most shocking whispers? That Disney might legally compel Zegler to fork over part of her pay. Apparently, there's intense debate over whether her candid commentary during the promo tour violated her contract, especially when she seemed to slam the same franchise she was hired to champion. One unconfirmed story claims a top Disney executive fumed in a hush-hush meeting, declaring Zegler torched a billion-dollar classic with a single interview. No one disagreed. And about that apology note on her social media? Rumor has it Disney's crisis PR team manufactured every word and forced her to post it. Fans and critics alike pounced on the statement's bland, overly sanitized tone. It was so PR perfect that it came off fake, fueling speculation that Disney was pulling all the strings. For a public already riled up, it felt less like remorse and more like corporate spin. The backlash was brutal, with critics on Reddit and X calling it robotic and insincere, convinced that Zegler herself was barely in the driver's seat. As for Zegler, the emotional toll has been crushing. Reports from people in her camp say she's been crying, stunned at how fast the tide turned against her, and clueless about how to rebuild her reputation. For Disney, trying to contain the meltdown might be causing even more damage. Now folks are pointing fingers, arguing the House of Mouse cares more about optics than honesty. At this stage, nobody's questioning if Snow White bombed, but rather if Zegler has any hope left, and whether Disney's even willing to give her another shot. Behind the scenes, her inner circle is in constant damage control mode, though morale is reportedly sinking fast. Not too long ago, she was touted as the future face of Disney's live-action expansions. Plans for sequels, spin-offs, and sprawling endorsement deals were in the works. Hollywood had her pegged for global fame, with Disney ready to lay the foundation for a whole new era featuring Rachel Zegler front and center. But that dream seems to have collapsed overnight. Insiders say Zegler's career path has become a spectacular collapse. Her management team is supposedly divided. Some want to stage a comeback with a big redemption push, while others advise she lie low for a good year or more until the controversy simmers down. What was shaping up to be a dazzling success story has morphed into a classic cautionary tale in Hollywood PR. And with each new wave of criticism, the mental strain is piling up. Zegler's allegedly shocked by just how fiercely the public turned, while Disney faces a possible multi-million-dollar meltdown over Snow White. This film was supposed to be a surefire win, loaded with nostalgia and a modern twist, following in the mega-hit footsteps of Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin. But critics claim it veered off so drastically, it lost the heart that made the 1937 classic a Disney cornerstone. Rather than capturing that timeless enchantment, it ended up alienating the core fan base it counted on most. Instead of paying homage to a legendary film, the remake apparently took a drastic left turn, removing iconic moments, rewriting central themes, and leaning into political angles that left audiences rolling their eyes. And with Rachel Zegler right at the center, she's bearing the brunt of the blame for a movie that many found soulless. People didn't just skip Snow White, they felt outright offended by it. Zegler's press interviews seemed to double down, with talk about the original prince being a stalker and the 1937 storyline being weird. Came off as mockery rather than respectful reimagining. The internet went wild with hashtag boycott Snow White trending. Each new interview clip became fresh fodder for outraged fans. TikTok, YouTube, and X exploded with reaction videos. And just when it seemed the uproar might settle, old tweets from Zegler resurfaced. She'd targeted certain political groups with blunt insults, which reignited the drama. For a brand built on universal appeal, this was catastrophic. Snow White was no longer a movie, it was ground zero for a cultural and political clash, with Zegler at the very center. Desperate to mitigate the chaos, Disney scaled back her public appearances. Access to premieres got more restrictive, interviews were cut short, but it was too late. The opening weekend box office limped in, leaving Disney executives in disbelief. Hopes that foreign markets might bail them out? Vanished. By the end of week one, analysts were tagging Snow White as one of Disney's worst-performing live-action flicks in years. The result? A costly black eye for the studio and a nightmare for critics. Compared to The Lion King or Beauty and the Beast, this remake didn't just underwhelm, it tanked. Entertainment insiders labeled it a $250 million lesson in how not to handle a classic property. Meanwhile, a wave of backstage finger-pointing ensued. Some pointed to marketing for pushing bland, disjointed trailers. Others blamed the script for missing the heart of the original. And in higher-level conversations, executives grumbled over how the reimagined direction even got a green light without testing it on loyal audiences first. But no matter where the blame goes, one name keeps popping up: Rachel Zegler. Right or wrong, Hollywood thrives on perception, and her presence during the rollout, along with her controversial remarks, made her an easy target. Now, rumor has it Disney wants to quietly sever ties. Some see it as a strategic maneuver to protect upcoming projects. Others interpret it as a subtle admission that this fiasco might be beyond repair. Word is, producers are reviewing casting for future ventures, and Zegler's name, once so promising, now comes with serious baggage. As for Zegler, she's gone silent. No social updates, no press, no appearances. She's basically disappeared, and that alone is generating more questions than any half-baked apology would. Some insiders say legal counsel has advised her to keep quiet. Others believe she's genuinely distraught and isolating herself with close allies. Either way, her vanishing act is fueling even more intrigue. Naturally, fans are divided. Some argue she's being unfairly blamed for a project that was troubled from the start. They point to behind-the-scenes production misfires that fell outside her control. Others maintain she brought it all on herself with her remarks, effectively torpedoing the whole enterprise. Either way, what we're left with is a deafening vacuum. Each day that passes without a word from Zegler, without a plan or a fresh statement, curiosity only ramps up. Where on earth is she? What comes next? Is this the moment before a carefully plotted comeback, or have we reached the end of the line? Because how this saga concludes could have major implications for Disney's reputation, for Hollywood's approach to big-budget remakes, and for how we judge star-led failures in the future. What do you think? Is she simply lying low to catch her breath, or is there something more serious at play? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to track every twist and turn in this ongoing drama, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Trust me, this story is far from finished.